Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Slow Flow with me, Beth, today, and this class is going to be slightly different from the ones that we've posted before. It's not going to be as strong. In fact, it's going to be pretty much based entirely on your mat, nice and slow and stretchy. Very relaxing, this type of class, and restorative, and I would suggest perhaps doing it before bed. That's when I like to do these types of classes, really wind you down and get you prepared to have a beautiful rest. Or you could do it at any time of the day where you just feel like you need to chill out a bit. For me, that's pretty much been my whole day. I've needed to chill out a bit. My husband's just gone into 14 days of quarantine, and I'm looking at the next couple of weeks without him, but at home with both our boys. So I'm sure I'll feel the need to slow down many times during that couple of weeks and to stop and breathe deeply. And because of that, I thought today we would start with a breathing technique. And we'll do it in a comfortable seat. So find a seated position that works for you, one that's comfortable. You might put something under your hips if you need to elevate them a little bit, or you just sit flat on your mat, whatever works for you. And when you found that comfortable seat, can you start to close down your eyes and connect in with your internal space? You might start that by feeling the body, noticing the seat bones as they ground down, thinking about pressing them down into the mat. And as you do that, can you also lengthen your spine up so your crown reaches towards the roof and you find lots of length through the spine there. Perhaps a little roll of the shoulders back and down as you open your heart and chest. And then starting to draw your awareness to your breath. Just taking a quick stock of how it feels right now. Maybe it's already long and deep and that's amazing, or maybe it's a bit shallow and you've got some work to do to bring it to where we need it to be today for the practice. Now start to lengthen your breath if it's not there already. So drawing a nice deep breath in, exhaling out. And when you're ready, we'll move into a breathing pattern. So the breathing pattern will be an inhale for a count of 4, a hold for a count of 4, an exhale for a count of 4, and a hold for a count of 4. It's called box breathing. A really effective, calming breathing technique. So let's take a deep inhale together now. And an exhale out. And then we'll begin to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Continue like that now to your own count. And if you need to, you could shorten any of the sides of the box, perhaps a shorter pause if it's a bit too long, or maybe a longer exhale if you feel that suits you better. Modifying it, taking it your own way. And we'll come through a few more rounds here. Three more rounds of breath now. when your 3 rounds of breath are complete, you can start to open up your eyes and come into a child's pose. Just taking your time to get there. Knees will come out wide toward the edges of the mat. Big toes will be together, and then hips pressed down towards the heels. Arms extend forward, hands pressed into the mat as your forehead and chest come down towards the mat too. Just a nice gentle pose to start to open up the hips, feeling a stretch through the back as well here. And it's another perfect position, as we often talk about, to start to feel a connection with your mat and a sense of groundedness. So perhaps as we're here, you start to notice now where you're connected to the mat. There's a lot more surface area than when we were seated. It's sort of your forearms, your hands, your knees, your shins, the tops of your feet. And your body presses down onto those points of contact, and you settle and melt down into your mat. Take a deep breath in, and then on your exhale, start to walk your hands over towards the left so that we find a nice stretch through the right side body. So the hips stay where they were, they're still pressing down. Just make sure the right hip isn't lifting up as you take this side bend. But as your hands walk over to the left, as far as you can without that hip lifting, can you start to breathe into your side ribs so that you feel space there in the body and length through the right side. Let's stay for one more deep breath in. And on the exhale out, walk back to center. Stay for an inhale. Exhale, walk over towards the opposite side. So hands towards the right this time. Keep the left hip plugging down towards the heel and feel length through the left side body this time as you breathe more intentionally into the left side ribs and you feel expansion there as you stretch into the side. Stay for one more deep breath in. Exhale, come back to center. Come up onto your fingertips here and then round your back a bit as you press your hips back into your heels. So coming right up onto the fingertips, arching through the back, finding a slightly different posture to our normal child's pose where your back usually is dipping. One more deep breath in. And then on your exhale, rise up to all fours. From here, we'll find a cat-cow. So inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward, lift your tail. Exhale, round your back, arch your spine. Continually like that. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your tail, gaze forward, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, round the spine, arch the back, let the gaze come in. Continue like that. One breath, one movement. And feel free to mix it up here. So you could always do more of a circular motion with the hips or a more lateral side bend where you look over one shoulder and then the other. It's completely up to you, whatever works for your body right now, today in this practice. We'll just take 2 more rounds of breath, whatever movement you've decided is for you today. And when those 2 rounds are complete, we'll just come back to a neutral spine before walking the hands forward into a puppy pose. Here the hips stay above the knees, stacked there, and chest descends down towards the mat as your gaze comes forward. Or perhaps you rest your forehead down on the mat, or maybe it hovers in space. All depends on how you feel in this shape. Here, can you think about breathing into the front of the chest and the shoulders, like your armpits are opening up here as you drop your chest towards the mat. A gentle drawing of the belly. Stay for one more deep breath in. And then on the exhale, let's come forward into a Sphinx pose. So there, the legs ground, tops of the feet to the floor, knees on the floor. And elbows come under the shoulders. So gaze is forward or just towards the top of the mat. And we find a really gentle restorative back bend here. But we're going to combine it with a sort of one-legged frog pose. So when you're ready, you start to take the left knee out towards the left side of the room so that it's just about in line with your hip and the right leg stays long there on the mat. And again, you might keep your eyes closed down for most of this practice, particularly these floor-based postures, so that you can stay really present with your internal space. Sometimes in these slower postures, there's more opportunity for the mind to wander. See what you can do to keep it here on the mat. Perfect way to do that is by focusing on your breathing, watching the breath enter, watching it leave. We'll stay here for one more deep breath. Then on the exhale, we're finding a supine twist. So the right hand will thread under the left arm. Then the left arm comes up, over, and all the way down to the right side of the room. Knee stays down towards the mat. So it might have lifted off a bit, and that's okay. But encourage it down in that direction so that you feel a nice twist in your spine here. We'll stay for one more deep breath in. And then on the exhale, coming back to center. Swapping sides, so bringing the left leg long now. Right knee comes out in line with the hip with the knee bent. Left leg long on the floor. Still in our Sphinx upper body posture, so elbows directly under the shoulders. Back bend here. And you start to drop and breathe into the opening hip, the right hip, as you soften into this shape. We'll stay here for 5 more deep breaths. Each one an opportunity to let go just a bit more. When those 5 breaths are complete, left arm threads over towards the right, underneath the right arm, then right arm comes up, over and all the way back. You find yourself in a supine twist on the other side. Stay for one more deep breath in. On the exhale, come back to the center. Take your legs out long this time, both legs long. Now we'll cactus the arms, take them just out to the sides of the mat, so off the mat, keeping the elbows up towards the roof. Take an inhale, lift your upper body up, so it's like a wide-armed cobra. Then on your exhale, drop your right shoulder towards the mat, look over towards the left side of the room. Inhale to come up to center, lift. Exhale, drop your left shoulder to the mat, look over towards the right. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, drop the right shoulder. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop the left shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, back to the mat. Now place your elbows on the ground, hands on the mat. So elbows are still bent here, cactus arms, but elbows on the ground now. Start to press your left hand into the mat so that you can roll over onto your right side, taking your left foot up and over the right leg. You can keep your head grounded here. And what you should feel is a nice opening in your right shoulder. And you can do whatever you need to do with your left foot. You could straighten the left leg, let the toes rest on the ground, or maybe it hovers. You could bend the knee, take it further back behind if that feels fine for you. You can use your left hand pressing into the mat to take you further into that shoulder opening position. We'll stay for one more deep breath in, and then an exhale, winding back to the center, switching sides. So left elbow, shoulder plants down now. Right hand presses you over towards the left side body as you take your right foot up and over and land it on the other side of the left leg. I'm always tight through my shoulders, so these poses feel really good and also really bad or intense. But that means for me, I think that they're important ones to do. Perhaps you're the same. We'll stay for one more deep breath in, and then an exhale to release. Bringing the hands by the rib cage. Inhale, let's come to a cobra position, lifting the chest, looking forward. On your next exhale, press back. Let's find a downward facing dog. A little bit of movement here might feel nice. You can play around with your down dog posture, perhaps coming up onto the toes of one foot, pedaling them out, swapping for the other. Or you could take some more movement in the hips. Maybe you bend the knees, straighten the legs, play around with that. Just a few breaths here to experiment. Keep your movement intuitive and curious. And then when you're ready, you come to a regular down dog where your heels drape towards the ground. On an inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Let's open the hip, bring the heel towards the backside, knee towards the roof. Keeping the shoulders level, can you stack the hips, lift the knee a little bit higher? We'll stay just for one more deep breath in. Then on the exhale, come forward, plant the foot between your hands. Let's find a low lunge, so dropping the back knee down. Lifting the upper body up, you can place your hands on your front knee, and we'll find some side bends here in our low lunge. When you're ready, take your arms towards the roof, deep breath in. Then on the exhale, take your right hand around your left wrist, bend over towards the right. Side bend. See if you can drop further into your hips as you take these side bends. But think about also just drawing your belly in slightly there. One more deep breath in. Exhale, come back to center. Switch the grip. Inhale nice and tall, so left wrist around right arm this time. Exhale, side bend over towards the left. One more deep breath in here. Exhale to center. Take the hands behind you, interlace them or take hold of the elbows, and then open the chest, roll the shoulders back. Find a big back bend here in your lunge, perhaps drop even further into the hips. Think about opening the chest, reaching the heart to the roof. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release. Take your hands to the floor. Let's flow a few times between this low lunge position and a half split. So take a deep inhale, look forward, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, straighten the front leg as you bring the hips back, rest on your front heel. Inhale to come forward, find your low lunge. Look forward. Exhale, half splits, come back, hips back, straight front leg. Or working towards straight. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, let's take it back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Last time coming back, and perhaps we'll stay here for a few breaths. Perhaps, or yeah, we will. I mean, I will anyway. Feel free to come along with me. Feeling into this really nice hamstring stretch right up the back of the leg. Softening the upper body down towards the leg. Take one more deep breath in. Then on the exhale, we'll come forward and find a lizard pose. Start to walk your right foot towards the edge of the mat. Bring the hands on the inside of the right foot. And you can stay here up on the hands, or perhaps you drop down onto your elbows. Just an option there for you. See if you can soften through the hips, soften through the shoulders, perhaps the head drops down. And we'll stay for 3 more deep breaths here. After the 3 breaths, press up onto the hands if you're not already there. Plant the left hand down, inhale the right hand up towards the roof, back knee is still grounded. And then you can stay here in this nice revolve, or if you like, pick up your back foot with your lifted hand, draw it in towards the back side, find a quad stretch. You can let your right knee drop further out towards the side of the room if that feels nice, coming onto the knife edge of the foot. One more deep breath in. Exhale to release. Step back to downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. Inhale the left leg high. Open up the hip just like we did on the other side. Bringing knee towards the roof, heel to the back side. Shoulders stay level as hips stack. Pressing even between the hands. One more deep breath. And exhale, bring knee towards the chest as you step the left foot through between the hands. We ground the back knee, find a low lunge. Feeling into the hips for a moment before you lift up. Hands can come to the front knee to start. And when you're ready, the hands come up towards the roof. We reach for the sky. Side bends here again. Take your left wrist, wrap it around your right hand. Take an inhale nice and tall. Exhale, side bend towards the left. Keep pressing into the front heel, perhaps a little bit further down into the hips. Breathing into the right side body. One more deep breath in. Exhale to release. Switch your grip. Inhale tall. Exhale, side bend towards the right. One more deep breath in here. And exhale to release. Take your hands behind you. We'll find the interlace again, rolling the shoulders back, opening the chest, or remembering you could just grab opposite elbow. Gaze can come slightly up as you find a little back bend here. One more deep breath in. Exhale to release hands to the ground. And we'll move again between low lunge and a half split. So here you look forward, roll shoulders back. Exhale, you move the hips back, straightening the front leg, leaning the upper body down towards the leg, resting on the heel. Inhale forward, low lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale forward, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, softening into the back of the leg as you fold. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, let's take it back and hold for a few breaths this time. Seeing if you can perhaps bring the chest a little bit closer down with each breath out. One more deep breath in here. Exhale, come back to the front, lizard pose. Walk your left foot towards the left side of the mat. Ground down onto your hands, opening up through the hips. Stay here or come down onto the elbows, finding a deeper position. We'll stay here for another 5 deep breaths. When those 5 breaths are complete, press back up onto your hands. Take the left hand high, press the right hand down, find a revolve. And again, you stay here, or you could pick up the back foot with your lifted hand, draw it in towards the back side as you let the left knee drop down and out, coming onto the knife edge of the left foot. One more deep breath in. Exhale to release. Step back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, take the right leg higher. Again, open up the hip, bringing the knee as high as you can up, stacking the hips. One more deep breath in. Exhale, half pigeon. Right knee comes to right wrist, left leg extends out long behind. We'll find a little bit of movement in this half pigeon pose. So an inhale reaches your spine nice and tall. Hands adjust towards the edge of the mat. And then on the exhale, you flow your body down towards the mat. Inhale, lift back up. See if you can make it like a bit of a rippling wave here. Exhale, dive it back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale towards the mat. Last time, inhale, come up. Exhale, diving it down, then we stay. And you find a place for your arms that works for you. Perhaps they're creating a little pillow for your forehead, or maybe you stretch them out in front. If you need anything under your hips, you could use a pillow to help you stay in the center line. I'm not here for too long today, just another 3 deep breaths. When those 3 breaths are complete, we'll come back to a downward facing dog. Press the hands into the mat, lift up and step back. Then the in-breath takes the left leg high, open up the hip once more. Find perhaps a little bit more height if you can on the inhale, and then exhale, half pigeon on the other side. Left knee to left elbow, shin comes down to meet the mat, knee bent. Right leg is long. Position the hands towards the edge of the mat. Let's find our flow. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, ripple down towards the mat. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, waving back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Last time, inhale up. And exhale to come down. Find your half pigeon pose. Maybe it feels different to the other side. Usually it does. You might notice which one's easier or feels easier, which one perhaps brings up a bit more emotion, tension, frustration. Three more deep breaths here. When the 3 breaths are complete, press back to a down facing dog. And then we'll just start to walk the feet forward until they find the middle of the mat. And then sit the hips down as you position the toes out, finding a Malasana yogi squat. Just a couple of breaths here, and you might like to take a little bit of movement in the hips before we settle our backsides down on the ground. So 2 more breaths in this shape. And then we'll bring our bodies all the way down to the mat, or our backsides, as we take the legs out long. And find a wide-legged position. And here we'll take a side stretch. So inhale the right hand high, bring the left hand towards the left leg, maybe rest it there, and then find a side opener as you reach towards the left foot with the right hand. One more deep breath in. And then exhale to release. Change sides. So right hand comes towards right leg. Inhale, left hand high. Exhale, side bend as you take the left hand towards the right foot. And one more deep breath in. Exhale to release. Bring the upper body up. Take an in-breath as you reach your spine tall. Exhale. Find a wide-legged forward fold. Bring your upper body down. Five more deep breaths here in this wide-legged fold. Use each one as an opportunity to soften. Inhaling energy and exhaling tension as you soften. When the 5 breaths are complete, bring your body up. Legs start to come together. And then you can roll your upper body all the way down onto the mat. Let's find a happy baby pose, bringing feet towards the sky, knees towards the armpits, or pressing down further towards the floor. Taking hold of the feet from the inside or the outside of the feet, totally up to you. You then might like to find a little sway side to side in your body. And you might stay exactly here, or you might like to take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes and play around with straightening one leg and the other. Maybe you straighten both legs at the same time and you continue the rocking motion side to side. Whatever position you choose, or perhaps you're cycling through the 3 options. We'll take 5 more breaths. When those 5 breaths are complete, bring your knees in, lengthen your legs out long on the mat. Taking a quick supine twist before we wrap up. And then inhale, draw your right knee in towards your belly. On your exhale, guide it over towards the left as you shuffle your hips back towards the left a touch, bringing them into the center line. Lengthen out your right arm, you let your gaze come over it. And you can stay right here, or if you like, take your peace fingers, wrap them around your right big toe, so the left hand to the right foot, and extend the leg long. Stay for one more deep breath in. On the exhale, release, come back to center, hug your knee on the way through. A little bit of compression there, and release it when you're ready. Opposite side, inhale, the left knee comes into the belly. As you exhale, guide it over towards the right. Left arm stretches out long, that's where the gaze goes. And again, you stay right here, or you take the option of binding the peace fingers of the right hand around the left big toe. You extend the left leg long in line with the hip. Stay for one more deep breath in. And on the exhale, let's come back to center. Stretch your legs out long. Now it's time to find your Shavasana. Shavasana here is your place to completely relax. Hopefully you feel nice and relaxed already after that slower paced class. But now that you're completely still, can you see what you can do to remain here on the mat? And I'll guide you through a quick body scan if you'd like to join. And we'll start by drawing awareness to the toes. Perhaps you wiggle them around, noticing where they are in space. And from there, your awareness draws up to your ankles, your shins, your knees, your thighs, and your hips, till you can feel both legs from top to bottom. Give them a little squeeze, all the muscles there tensing, and let it go as you completely relax your legs. Do the same thing to the arms, so you notice the fingers, perhaps they wiggle a little bit. Then your awareness draws up to your hands, your forearms, your upper arms, all the way up to your shoulders. Squeeze the muscles in the arms, release as you completely soften and surrender them into the mat. Next, you notice your belly and your chest. Notice them rise and fall with the breath. Using each breath as an opportunity again here to soften. And lastly, you draw your attention to your face and your neck. Just noticing what's happening with your eyes, your eyebrows, your forehead. Softening all of those areas, letting any tension go. Same thing for the lips. Releasing, relaxing. Breathing into the body. Exhale, softening into the mat. And you can stay here now as long as you like. Using this time to just be here, be present, doing something really good for yourself. And I'll end the class here, but see you again soon.